Thank you for having us. Thank you for the introduction. Our talk is called Snap Back to Reality, Here Comes Gravity, inspired by the Eminem lyrics, but just to show how XR in a real enterprise, in a real industry, can face some problems like gravity. For instance, we were driving a real car, and we will go through our pains and what we learned through it and how XR helped us overcome those situations. My name is Timmy Ghiurau, and I'm leading virtual experiences and XR research at Volvo Cars. I have a bit of background in game development, Unity, fashion, entrepreneurship, but then I switched to Volvo Cars, and I really love to work with the challenges here.
Hi, my name is Casper Wickman. I work at Volvo Cars as a senior technical leader at the UX department here at Volvo.
Yeah, so our company is transforming into a group to deliver like long-term strategies and ambitions. So we're not only producing cars, but we're also focusing on like services around mobility and electrification. But as well, we're looking a lot into self-driving cars and the AD area. So for that to happen, we structured our company to be able to focus on these strategies, and that's why XR plays a role, a big role in this area to be able to prototype these services and experiences. So a main thing is to align with the view, meaning that we need to align with the corporate strategy, finding and understanding the industry, which for me, that was like a big finding when I started. Like I was coming from a gaming background, but I was really looking to see how can I support the company with these new tools and methods to be able to improve the way of working, create efficiency, and being able to prototype different new interactions, concept cars, and also simulation. And for that, I took as a mission, together with my colleagues, democratization, the tools and methods that we have to be able to spread it across the company and being able to reuse assets and data. And for that, like we created the 3D asset pipeline at Volvo Cars to be able to use the same tools, speak the same language. And for that, we use Unity 3D, which is a good mix between creative people and like technical nerds, and that they have the same language they speak in the same medium where they can both experience the car models, but also focus on the logical aspect like functions and different sensor models and so on. So for that, we are having use cases from product design, where we do for design reviews, sales and marketing, training, AD self-driving car simulations, and HMI development. And here are some examples of those topics, like product design review. We put the car in a context, and then we focus on reviewing how the car looks under different conditions, but also how it performs. Like we simulate auto parking features and how it would work in traffic. Also exposing all the functionalities of different objects in the car and how does that fit with the complete virtual vehicle. For that, we created a tool called Product Simulator, an internal tool, which is basically, we call it a virtual framework. So we start from the design where we get the 3D model and materials and surfaces, and then we put that in our internal asset store, where we combine that in the R&D with different modules from vehicle dynamics, user interface, and the product functionality. And we made it so modular that we can actually replace the concept behavior of the car later on when we are closer to production with software in the loop and hardware in the loop, and experiment the car at different fidelity, from a sketch concept where we maybe take a VR experience to maybe lab where we do a lot of validation tests in terms of UX, sensors, and also what we released later is called the AR car, which we'll present later. And we have the product simulator, which acts as the brain of it, which powers all these modules and connects all the modules together. So when we have a complete virtual vehicle with behavior, we are putting it in context, and then we can focus also on the sensors outside the car and how the car reacts to the exterior. And when we are ready with that, we are ready to tell a story about our new car and the new features that we have. So we can create consumer-facing experiences, but also focus on training on how to produce this project. So everything is about efficiency on this topic. So here is an example of how the product simulator works. So here we can approach the car. It's on a desktop mode. We hover the mouse over the objects we want to interact with, and we can interact with the screens. And we really need to follow the sequence to actually do like a product validation test, where we want to see if the functions fit together with the intended design and the intended user experience. So we can use this for testing. As I said, either on desktop, but we can also use it on simulation rigs where we can actually make the users drive, and we can look at things like distraction and so on. So all the behavior is connected. So this can help us with transparency. So the engineers understand and communicate with each other, and they can talk with design about it. From that, we can move to sales and marketing. As I said, we can have this in the showrooms where users can configure their car, but as well use what we used in the R&D part. They can see and learn about the functions of the car, and also look at learn about the different colors that are available and the smart functions that our products have. We are creating also some experiences where we focus on safety, for instance, and we are showing how different sensors can save the people's life, and like the users get more understanding of how the car functionalities help the user experience in terms of safety. We tested also handheld devices like AR experiences, where we did a lot of research and learned that that draws people to explore the car more and visit our real retail stores to be able to see the car in person. But in the beginning, it creates more immersion to actually understand the product virtually. And since we are from the UX department, our focus is on finding new interaction methods, having the user in the middle, focus again on the human-centric design and how the user will interact with our services and the technologies. And here is an example from what we did with Varjo. It's like a marker-based experience using the XR1, so we could actually experiment with the different concepts for our interfaces real time.
So the reason why we want to scale up the virtual framework is because we want to evaluate things fast and fail fast, basically. So we are applying the design thinking methodology, where you empathize with the user, you define the problem, you ideate, and you prototype in order to be able to test. So we have a lot of different types of fidelity when it comes to testing. Here's an example where we use a very rough prototype rig in order to more evaluate the experience and the behavior of the customer when interacting with a new type of product and features. So we have everything from these type of low fidelity things to more advanced stuff. For example, if you want to evaluate automated driving, AD, we have a test rig that we call Volvo Cars, where we actually can simulate a real level 5 AD car with a ghost driver in the second row of the car. So with this thing, we can do things that wouldn't be possible since the technology isn't there yet. So we're going to show a small example of a film where we have a very skeptical participant we are evaluating the trust of AD cars. And basically this user is placed in the front seat, and we are actually driving the car from the rear seat. And in the beginning of the ride, you can see that he is looking up on the road all the time. But as soon as the test leader asks him, like, do you have any interest, or do you have a family and stuff like that, he started to look for, pictures in his phone. And suddenly we can see that his primary task that was driving before now suddenly has become, looking in his phone. So this very skeptical person, in a very few minutes, only 28 minutes, went from super skeptical to trust 80 totally. So not until the test leader interrupts him and say, hey guy, we need to take off here, so you better take over. He reacts and go back to his primary task again. So this is one example of an advanced test rig where we put the user in the center in order to be able to gain new knowledge about future technologies. So now the test leader is actually telling him to take over. And this is, of course, very important when we develop the future 80 cars. And this is just an example of our 360 concept that was launched 2 years ago to show our vision of the future. We also have more simple rigs like this simulator with a rounded screen around it that can be used for different UX evaluations, also powered by Unity environment. This is another example where we use VR in combination with a rig that can automatically set different driving positions for different drivers, which is used for ergonomical evaluations. This is a more marketing rig that also uses desktop or VR. But we also use more consumer-based VR equipment. This is an example where we evaluate ergonomic postures when you are supposed to assemble a car in the plant. So we have a wide range of different headsets and VR and XR equipment, everything from HoloLens. But now lately, like 2 years ago, we have started to use like the state-of-the-art hardware from Varjo. And the reason for this is that we 2 years ago had an idea that we were supposed to drive a car with a pair of video see-through headsets. So we presented this idea to Varjo in 2008, and we divided this project into 6 different steps. And on the meeting when we presented this, Varjo actually decided that they would join us in this cooperation. In the final step that we did with Varjo, we also wanted to add different objects outside the car with an overlaid virtual car on the inside. So this advanced test rig would be used to a lot of different use cases, everything from validation to visualize and evaluate simulation results, active safety aspects, and of course, a lot of UX evaluations. So here we can see some of the pictures from one of the trials that we did in the beginning of the project. In the film, you can actually see the first test drive of the car. Here is some more progress. We have changed the tracking system. And this video shows the first time where we drove the car with overlaid head-up display. And as you can see, the display is sort of moving a little bit. Yeah, sorry. I think we were unsynced with the presentation here, really. Sorry, I think we need to Captain take it back a couple of slides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do.
Yeah, exactly, because I think you were switching a little bit too fast. So
okay.
Should we go back one more, maybe?
Okay, this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we can see another step of the development. We have actually increased the tracking in the car. So we have switched to art tracking, and you can see it on the passive sensors on the headset. So here's the first time where we actually drove the car with an overlay data. And you can see a virtual head-up display in the windscreen where we have injected the real signals from the car to show the speed of the car. But unfortunately, the quality wasn't really good enough. We also managed to drive this rig in dark conditions. And here is an example from our test track where we drive this in very, very dark condition, and it's actually working extremely good. Part of the development with Varjo was that they should provide us with a good tracking system so we could read out gaze data from our evaluations. So this video shows the first time we tried the Varjo eye tracking that they have implemented. And this is really important for us since we want to be able to analyze everything we do after the test in order to understand where did the driver look while we did the evaluation. This is another example. We have improved the tracking and enhanced the body of the tracking system. But in the very end, we ended up with a quite complicated system where we were able to read out any signals from the car and overlay virtual objects on the car inside, and also being able to add virtual objects outside the car. And everything, all the technology in the car is connected through a local network in the car. And we have finally decided on a tracking system which became the ART 5C tracking system that was really suitable for in-car environments.
Yeah, so about a year ago, exactly at Augmented World Expo, we launched the project and the final result together. So I was in Santa Clara at a hotel in the morning, and then I was waking up to this. It was like all over the news. The project was like super well received, and it was like super overwhelming. I never thought about this before, and it was like so exciting to see also suggestions for other people, like how this technology can improve like user testing, validation, safety evaluation, and so on. And we met a lot of cool people. Also, we had the projects on tested, and we got really good reviews there. And then we launched the final result together.
With XR1, we are able to explore digital objects as natural extensions of the real world. Varjo's vision is to create mixed reality where you cannot tell apart anymore what is real and what is virtual.
So the project was received as the most advanced mixed reality use case, and the collaboration also made us to collaborate further with Varjo. So we even invested in the company to actually strengthen our communication and collaboration. Since we found a lot of synergies, we had use cases challenging enough for them to push their technology boundaries, but also they were pushing our use cases and helping us improve our tool chain. So we chose Varjo for a few reasons. Like one important one is like the human eye resolution, which is crucial for any type of validation or verification work that you do. You need to be able to see the details, the stitches, the material differences, and only Varjo headset could actually help us do that. From that, of course, the most important thing is also field of view, like compared to optical see-through. Having video see-through real time enables us to see the full car in full size and like full opacity, true black color, which is again super crucial for validation use cases. And also later, after a few months, we actually looked into how to collaborate on design reviews. And now, especially in Corona time, this is really crucial to be able to meet and evaluate the car, see the real-time reflections that are reacting to the real environment, being able to change these conditions and actually evaluating the car as it would be there. And this is maybe the future of showrooms, car shows, or like just collaborating on building products like this. The nice thing, of course, is the stunning quality of the data set and seeing those details virtually that matches the reality. So we measured and compared real cars to the virtual one, and we had people that couldn't tell apart which is which was our goal from the start. And this helps us so much. So being able to just switch between different concepts, between designs, and a big request that we had that people wanted to see the real hands and interacting with the virtual model, which adds to the immersion a lot. By that, we can put the car in any context we want to see, switching from XR to VR, which was easy in this case. And that helps us to see how the car would look like in different places under different light conditions and in a different context, and being able to switch back to reality with, yeah. So from that, we partner up with Varjo and Meet in VR. So now from purchasing any Varjo, it will give a 6 months trial of Meet in VR. And I think, again, this is like the future of collaboration, especially during this time with the coronavirus. Maybe we will need to work remotely more and collaborate. And as we are spread all over the world, for us, it's crucial to be able to collaborate in this way. So I think this will be the future of like a future of products and collaboration. And on that topic, we had a collaboration with Varjo where we helped them identify some use cases when it comes to the future of workspace. Like one pain is that we are using 2D screens to create 3D content, and that doesn't make sense anymore. And if we have XR1 where we can switch from VR to AR, we can just evaluate how we can create 3D content in 3D and having multiple screens and the tools that we need and we want at our fingertips. And I think this again shows how powerful real-time 3D is, where every change happens in real time, and then we can use, for instance, Unity while being in VR and being able to modify the content. And from there, we started also to look how to make our tools more efficient and like how can we create prototypes, design cars, maybe by using Gravity Sketch, and then also by using tools like Figma or like Teleport, where we can just bring that in virtual reality and see how we can define the new UX for spatial computing as we are moving forward in that direction, as well as new interaction models. How do we prepare for spatial computing and being able to have infinite space to have interfaces and ways of interacting with content, and especially moving maybe in the future from headsets to glasses or lenses and having haptic feedback, which will create super rich experiences, and it will help us to create products faster and focus on sustainability, safety, and personalization. Thank you, and thank you for having us. And if you have any questions, we'll answer to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey guys, well, thank you so much for that presentation. The work you guys are doing is absolutely incredibly and fascinating, and it makes me so sad that I can't actually be there this year to check it out in person. So I'm looking forward to next time when it's available. Well, we're a little bit behind, so we're not going to be able to do the Q&A today, but I've, anybody who has questions, maybe if they can reach out on the message board, you guys might be able to answer their questions after during the next presentation. But, once again, thank you so much for your time, and it was really fascinating getting to see the work that you guys have been doing. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.